It's Saturday, July 1st. Happy Canada Day! My name is Rich, and this is your 5-minute fix. More chaos overseas, baby. France unrest. Third night of riots after police shoot teen. Officer charged. So I don't know if you guys have heard, but I myself have not heard too much about it. Just over the last couple of days, I'm hearing about this. Long story short, and we'll get into this article. Teenage boy was shot and killed by police in France. I don't know just yet what part of France this happened, but teenage boy, 17 years old, shot and killed by police. It was said that the police shot him because he was ramming them with his vehicle. Turns out the lie detector determined that was a lie. And so now there is public unrest. The proverbial shit is hitting the fan, and it's a crazy scene out in the country of France. Let's read. Nanterre, France, June 29th. France saw unrest spread to major cities in a third night of riots on Thursday as President Emmanuel Macron fought to contain a mounting crisis triggered by the deadly police shooting of a teenager of Algerian and Moroccan descent during a traffic stop going after them Africans. 40,000 police officers were deployed across France, nearly 4 times the numbers mobilized on Wednesday, but there were few signs that government appeals to de-escalate the violence would quell the widespread anger. Another thing too, Macron has been under heavy criticism for trying to change the retirement age from I think 65 to like 74 or something like that. Anyways, he's been trying to change the retirement age to an older age, and people ain't having it. In Nanterre, the working class town on the western outskirts of Paris, where 17-year-old Nahel M was shot dead on Tuesday, protesters torched cars, barricaded streets, and hurled projectiles at police following a peaceful vigil. Protesters scrawled, "Vengeance for Nahel," across buildings, and as night said, a bank was lit on fire before firefighters put it out and an entire police unit deployed an armored vehicle. In central Paris, a Nike shoe store was broken into and 14 people were arrested and 16 more were arrested with stolen objects after store windows were smashed along with Rue de Rivoli shopping street, Paris police said. National police said on Thursday night that officers faced new incidents in Marseille, Lyon, Pau, Toulouse, and Lille, including fires and fireworks. Videos on social media showed numerous fires across the country, including at a bus depot in a suburb north of Paris and a tram in the eastern city of Lyon. In Marseille, France's second city, police fired tear gas grenades during clashes with youth in the tourist hotspot of Les Vieux-Port. The city's main paper, La Provence, reported the incident has fed long-standing complaints of police violence and systemic racism inside law enforcement agencies from rights groups and within the low-income, racially mixed suburbs around major cities in France. The local prosecutor said the officer involved had been put under formal investigation over voluntary homicide and would be held in prison in preventative detention. Under France's legal system, being placed under formal investigation is akin to being charged in Anglo-Saxon jurisdictions. The public prosecutor considers that the legal conditions for using a weapon have not been met, Pascal Prache, the prosecutor, told a news conference. The teenager was shot during Tuesday morning's rush hour. He initially failed to stop after Mercedes AMG he was driving was spotted in a bus lane. 2 police officers caught up with the car in a traffic jam. When the car tried to get away, one officer fired at close range through the driver's window. Nahel died from a single shot through his left arm and chest, Nanterre public prosecutor Pascal Prache said. The officer has acknowledged firing a lethal shot, the prosecutor said, telling investigators he wanted to prevent a car chase, fearing he or another person would be hurt after the teenager allegedly committed several traffic violations. The officer's lawyer, Laurent Franck Linard, said his client had asked the victim's family to forgive him. He said the officer had aimed down towards the driver's leg but was bumped, causing him to shoot towards his chest. He had to be stopped, but obviously the officer didn't want to kill the driver, Linard said on BFM TV, adding that his client's detention was being used to try to calm rioters. Nahel was known to police for previously failing to comply with traffic stop orders, Prache said. Macron on Wednesday said the shooting was unforgivable. As he convened his emergency meeting, he also condemned the unrest. At a march in Nanterre in memory of Nahel, participants rallied against what they perceived as culture of violence, impunity, and failure to reform law enforcement in a country that has experienced waves of rioting and protests over police conduct. Thousands thronged the streets, riding atop a flatbed lorry. The teenager's mother waved to the crowd wearing a white t-shirt reading "Justice for Nahel" and the date of his death. "I have nothing against the police. I have something against the one person, he who killed my son. He did not have to kill my son," Nahel's mother told France 5 television after the march. The unrest has revived memories of riots in 2005, convulsed France for 3 weeks, and forced then-President Jacques Chirac to declare a state of emergency. That wave of violence erupted in the Paris suburb of Clichy-sous-Bois and spread across the country following the death of 2 young people electrocuted in a power substation as they hid from police. The 2 officers were acquitted in a trial 10 years later. Tuesday's killing was the 3rd fatal shooting during traffic stops in France so far in 2023. 2023, down from a record 13 last year. A spokesperson for the National Police said there were 3 such killings in 2021 and 2 in 2020, according to a Reuters tally, which shows the majority of victims since 2017 were Black or of Arab origin. Karima Katim, a local counselor in Blac-Monceau, northeast of Paris, said people's patience was running thin. We've experienced this injustice many times before, she said. So guys, there you have it. That's a quick rundown of what's going on right now in France. Obviously, you hate to see this kind of stuff, but with the amount of traffic stop killings in the country, obviously, like the local counselor said, people are fed up. They don't want to see this anymore. Perhaps they're even afraid themselves if something goes wrong. Now, in this instance, obviously the article said the individual was known to police, but does that warrant being shot at? I would like to know, or I guess my question is, how severe of a car chase do they think this would have been to have to shoot at the vehicle? I feel like even shooting at the vehicle could lead to, you know, a ricochet bullet, something like that. But I'm not a police officer. I'm not an expert in firing a gun. I'd like to know what you guys think of this whole situation in France right now. Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. My name is Rich, and this has been your 5-Minute Fix.